All right, so we are recording. We'll go for about a half an hour presentation, and then we'll open it up for questions. Of course, if Andrea or Linda or whoever else joins has specific things they want to ask, we'll unmute the microphones and give everybody a chance to interact. So my name is Leanne Presley. I'm the CEO of Stitchcraft Marketing, and my team here is online as well, Stephanie, Laura, and Rebecca. And today we're talking a little bit about generosity marketing. I'll just do a quick slide deck presentation to kind of go over the concepts and refer you to the other blog posts that we wrote about the subject. And then, like I said, we'll open it up for questions and comments. So generosity marketing, let's just start with a quick definition. When I talk about generosity marketing, what I'm referring to is giving away your best content or your products for free, which helps to generate trust and loyalty among your customers. A couple of examples here. I'm not sure how old everybody is, but I'm 51, and I definitely remember getting my Fruit Loops box when I was a kid. And yeah, the cereal was tolerable. Maybe it was even enjoyable when I was a kid. But the real reason was to get the Batman Periscope, which was, of course, at the bottom of the box. And that's one of the earliest memories I have of generosity marketing. Another more recent example is the Stacy's Pita Chips did a one-year campaign where if you were named Stacy and you applied, they'd send you a free bag of Stacy's Pita Chips, which I thought was pretty clever. So why are we talking about this now? We've actually been talking about generosity marketing for many, many, many years, but I think now it's even more important than ever. As you know, we're in the middle of an era where we're constantly bombarded by messages to buy this, annoying jingle sounds, discounts, and of course the sleazy salesman. This guy looks like he's trying to sell a car. Pretty much the bottom line is there is so much white noise, so much incoming content that your customers are completely overwhelmed and they're looking for something different. I'd say also in the era of COVID, you know, people are completely saturated, not just overwhelmed with content and messaging, but the stress levels are really, really high. And so that's how generosity marketing really comes to the surface and emerges as the really only marketing strategy that we are recommending. So in this talk, we're just going to review how you can redefine your marketing from pushy to generous. And we'll get into it with a couple of different examples. I do want to reference the article that we wrote about generosity marketing, which is on our website on the blog section, and I believe Laura pasted the actual URL link in the chat session if you're on the live office hours session today. If not, if you're watching this at a later time, the recording, you can go to stitchcraftmarketing.com and navigate to our blog, where you'll see at the very top this image, which will take you right to the article. A couple of quick examples. One of the ones I love that I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with is Tom's. Tom's has a really awesome built-in generosity program where if you buy a pair of shoes or glasses or some of the other products they have, they will match it with their one-to-one program. So they send a pair of shoes to someone in need somewhere else in the world. And they've built an incredible brand based on this generosity concept. Another client that we worked with many, many years ago is Ancient Arts Yarns, and they had a program where a portion of the sale of their proceeds went to benefit stray and abandoned cats at the Best Friends Animal Society. And they made this a regular part of their marketing program. So just to give you a little bit more example of that there. Whoops, bumped out of present mode. Sorry about that. So we've talked a lot about the know, like, and trust funnel, which is really the foundation of a generosity marketing system. And in recent months, probably since January, we've come back to the know, like, and trust funnel, and we've revisited it. But just for a quick refresher, I'm going to just share with you the basics of the know, like, and trust funnel, which is basically a spectrum that your customer moves through in the customer experience. So they're starting here in this know part of the funnel, or the spectrum, as it were, and they're trying to learn about who you are and what you're offering. So they're asking questions like, who are you and what do you do, and why should I care about you? Next, they move over to the like part of the funnel, where they're asking questions like, do I like you? And can I relate to you? You know, they're looking for those little indicators that will move them further along the spectrum, to the point where they get to the trust part of the funnel, which is really where conversions happen. So at this part of the funnel, your customers are asking, are you the expert? Can you help me? Or they're looking at reviews to see if other people have had success buying from you or utilizing your service. And for many, many years, this was the foundation of our marketing philosophy, and it still mostly is, but we've refined it just a little bit to add in 4 more considerations, which we call the try, buy, repeat, and refer component of the know, like, and trust funnel. And what we're seeing here is sort of the next level. So not only does your customer move through the know part, then the like, and then the trust, there's also another sequence where they're trying your product, they're actually buying something, they might come back and be a repeat customer, and then also they might be referring you to friends and family or other people they know. So it's really important that we take a look at this part of the funnel as well when we're thinking about our generosity marketing. We have a quick infographic that is in an article that I'll reference in just a minute, but you can see kind of how the funnel works at the very top. Here's the questions, and then hopefully, if you're doing your job well and you have a successful marketing plan, they're going to move down through the funnel to the point where they buy. And this is the article that I wanted to reference, again, located at the same place on our website, stitchcraftmarketing.com/blog. And you'll see this article on there that talks a lot about all the different steps of not only know, like, and trust, but gets into the try, buy, repeat, and refer. The other great thing I love about that article is it gives you an actual example of the writer's customer journey through a purchase at Tom Bin, and gives really clear, great examples of all the different levels of the new funnel. So you can really get a clear example of what we're talking about. So I definitely encourage you to go and read that article and reference it to redo your understanding of the know, like, and trust funnel. So let's just talk about some of the different things that we recommend for a generosity marketing program. We kind of break it down into 3 different areas, which we call giving, helping, and teaching. And I want to walk you through each of those with some actual tools and some actionable examples that you can use on your website or in your marketing program. So when we talk about giving, that might be things like an actual giveaway where you're offering a product for free to your customer audience. Free patterns have long been a source of generosity marketing in both the sewing and the knitting realm and the fiber realm. Giving a percentage of sales to causes, just like we showed you with ancient arts. Loyalty programs, that might be something like you buy 10 cups of coffee and you get the 11th one free with maybe a little punch card or something more automated. Contests can be another great way to be giving. I do have a little asterisk there, and I tell people that you want to make sure that your contest is free and open to everyone, and that you're not requiring a purchase to participate, which is actually against the law in a lot of states. But you don't want to have that kind of bait and switch approach to your contests, where you're going to require them to do something in order to participate in a contest. In the helping section, that might be something like knit or sew alongs, where you're offering your time and our energy to help move that project forward. Of course, your customer service is going to be one of the main areas that you are helping people. Use those opportunities on the phone or in email to be helpful and generous. Repairs on site is another great idea. We had a client, Louette, that did repairs of their spinning wheels on site at festivals or events, which worked really, really well for them. And they actually really blew it up into this thing with the owner wearing a special jacket with his name on it, like he was the repair guy, and that went over really well. Frequently asked questions pages on your website is really a must do. Take the top questions that you're getting, maybe 10, 15, and convert those into an actual landing page or a navigable page on your website so that that is always available for your customers. Office hours, that's one of our generosity marketing ideas that we came up with this year, where we are here teaching you something, and then we open it up to a live session where we're just immediately answering your questions. You guys could do that for your businesses as well. You can do it like we're doing it, where it's a Zoom meeting and you have people sign on, or you can just jump on one of the live platforms like Facebook or Instagram and just do it right on the spot. Lastly, we have teaching. Tips and tricks content that you can put out on your website or your social channels is always helpful. Of course, your standard tutorials or your how-tos. One of the things we do for clients is these photo sequence tutorials where we're showing how to pick up a drop stitch, for example. And so then every photo has one little snippet of that lesson, and then we publish it on a blog platform. Ebooks are another great way. You can take a bunch of those tutorials or compile a lot of your social content into something that's an ebook, which also acts as a great lead generator because presumably you'd offer that ebook in a place like a landing page where your customer has to give an email address in order to receive the ebook, and then you're building your newsletter list at the same time. Of course, classes, if you are, let's say, a fabric shop, or you specialize in quilting or the fiber sector, we see a lot of this with knitting classes. It's a great way to bring people into your brick and mortar store, or even to offer them online and be teaching. A lot of times when people are learning those lessons, the next thing they want is to buy from you. A quick example of a client that we currently work with, this is Eucalan. They make a fabric and fiber wash in a bunch of different wonderful scents. And they've got a lot of great examples of generosity marketing. One of them is these laundry lessons, which are YouTube videos where you can see Jen, the owner, actually washing different types of products. And she's got a whole series of those, which are really successful. She also does blog posts. One that we designed, wrote for her, is how to wash holiday treasures, which this particular example is made of wool or might have some delicate aspects to it. So she puts that on her blog and then replicates it on all her social channels as well. Another series that they did that I thought was really wonderful is to be giving content, advice, and feedback, not specifically about your product. I like to say that generosity marketing should be a ratio of about 8 to 1. So you want to publish 8 pieces of content that are just solely generous, followed by 1 piece that is what we call a take, where you're asking for the sale. So this was a series where they started in the early November with like Thanksgiving season, talking about how to dress for job interviews, weddings, office parties. And I actually believe this is, it's from Real Simple. So it wasn't even original content that they put out there, but it was helpful to their customers. Hey, are you looking to learn more about how you can dress for the upcoming holiday season? And then they followed that up with another post about different tricks to look amazing at a holiday party. So still kind of related to the same theme. Again, repurposed content. This is from Oprah.com. But then by the time they started getting, talking about their own content and their own product, of course, this is a native piece of content for the company, it all made sense. You know, then they can come in and say, hey, do you know that the Eucalan wipes are a great product to use for your holiday party dresses or sequins? shirts and tops and sweaters. And it just really came together in a really nice sequence. So again, it's giving, it's giving, it's giving, and then it's asking. And all along, it's generous and it's educational. A couple of cautions with the generosity program. You want to really make sure that you are not assuming what you're offering is generous when in fact it's not perceived that way. One of the most common pitfalls is a coupon code where people will say, well, yeah, I'll give you $25 off your order, but you have to order something. That's not generosity marketing. That is more of a, you're asking for something in order to give a discount. So stay away from that pitfall in offering discounts or coupon codes. That's not what we're talking about here. Also, make sure that you are capturing leads. Like I mentioned earlier, if you're doing an ebook or something like that, you can create a landing page where you are asking for an email address. That's perfectly fine. That's not the same as asking someone to buy something from you first and then they get a discount. Also, make sure that it's about your customer and not about you. We always say when we're talking about the customer avatar, what is the thing that when she wakes up in the morning, she's concerned about? And this is a great example from chatbooks.com. I'd strongly encourage you to jump over to their YouTube channel, especially on a day when you might need a laugh, because their entire video series is not only hysterical, but it talks about the mom and how the challenge and her challenge in making photo books. And so their solution as a company is this automated system to produce photo books right from your phone. But the whole series of marketing is about their customer avatar. It's about her and the problem she's having. So make sure that that is the focus of your generosity campaign, and it's not about you as a company or a brand. All right, that's it. That's all I had for today. I'll hit the stop share. And if there's folks that want to ask questions, we can do that as well. We also did put the link for the Know Like Trust Funnel expansion article in the chat there if you guys want to jump over there and see that. All right, I guess we've got Andrea and Linda on the call. Do either of you have questions or feedback about the generosity campaign?
Hey, I actually do. I don't know if it's the same thing or not, but in the past 2 weeks, we've seen a lot of, companies taking a stance and, wanting to give back. It's definitely not popular with everyone. And I was just curious what your thoughts are on that in respects to generosity marketing.
Yeah. That is a tricky one because it's not just a straightforward generosity program like what we talked about on this session. I'd say it's definitely tinged with some politics and political positions, which really complicates the whole thing. So I would say my advice to clients when it comes to controversial issues is to really look into yourself and who are you as a brand and a business and what do you represent, and to go out there, in the universe with whatever that position is. I know not everybody agrees with all the different stances for some of the things that are controversial. So I don't want to put my views into the piece of advice to say, you should be doing this or your message should be that, because that's not my place to define who you are as a business and a brand. So I'd probably start there. One exercise that I always recommend to people is what I call know your why. It's a great marketing strategy that you can learn more about by Simon Sinek is the author, and he wrote a great book on it if you're not familiar with it. For businesses that really don't know where they stand and they don't know, why they're in business. And I think when you don't know your why, that hobbles your ability to take a position when things like, what we're seeing now emerge. So that would probably be one exercise I'd recommend for everybody watching and listening. And then once you do know what your position is or how you feel about it, again, you need to decide how public and vocal that you want to be about that position. And what's your comfort level? A lot of our clients are at the comfort level where they are publishing statements on their website that reflect how they feel about the current issues, and or posting on their social media channels about that.
We did the same.
Yeah. So, again, I think it's just based on whatever your comfort level is. And thanks, Laura. She just posted the Find Your Why link from Simon Sinek. He has a great website, and I'd also recommend, he has a super quick 10-minute video that outlines the concept and has a little exercise for folks.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much for this. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hopefully it's helpful.
Yeah. The only other thing I would say is that if you decide to do something in terms of generosity giving, like to a cause or something, I would just be careful that you tie what it is that you're doing to the cause quite a bit, and be sure that you're not just doing it to get sales for yourself. Because I mean, that is a criticism that I see quite a bit. That you're promoting your own work, even if it is to make a substantial donation. So you just have to be careful if that's something you're thinking about doing.
Well, in the past couple of weeks, you'd also be opening yourself up to so much criticism. I'm not sure that's worth it. Possible criticism.
I think it just has to be pretty targeted, and pretty specific, and honestly, be generous enough that it doesn't look self.
Right.
Yeah.
So Linda commented in the chat that
that's a criticism.
So just want to share something Linda put in the chat. I think it's a wise idea to give. I got a surprise freebie item with my yarn purchase the other day, much appreciated. And that really reminds me of another marketing angle that we've been promoting a lot lately, which is this concept of delighting your customer. And I think that's a great example of how you can include a little goodie or a little unexpected surprise in your packaging or your shipping, which is designed to delight your customer. We see that for sure as an emerging trend in marketing, is how can you find ways to surprise and delight your customers? So yeah, Linda, I think that's an awesome example. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, she just replied back. I guess Linda doesn't have the ability to respond on the audio, but she's even done little personalized thank you notes with mail orders. Absolutely. The more that you can personalize and take the time to do that with your customers, I think it just goes a really long way. And I know when I receive something that has a little note, just makes me feel great, and it really enhances that like part of the know, like, and trust funnel. So highly encourage you to think about some sort of personalized way that you can include something like that with your products.
Well, and that helps create an experience as well, because I mean, people can buy yarn anywhere these days. So if they're buying from you, it's because they're loyal to you. It's because they enjoy the experience they get.
Right. Absolutely. Good point, Laura. All right. Any other questions, feedback? My team?
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks everybody for joining us for another office hours. Laura, can you share with the folks on right now or watching when our next office hours will be?
I believe our next office hours will be in 2 weeks. That would be, hang on, let me look at my calendar. That is Tuesday, June 30th. And we are putting together a post right now. It will go up next week. It is about changes on the big 3 platforms, which are Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. And then we'll talk about some of the biggest changes on there and how you can use them for your crafty business.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Laura. Thanks everybody for joining us for another Stitchcraft Marketing Office Hours, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.